I just said goodnight on the Isaiah video, but I actually kind of want to talk about Jake, or Core. I do love me some Jake. It is late, I'm not gonna lie, 2:42 a.m. Is this the best decision? Probably not. But it's fun. We're totally okay. So Core is one of those characters that, I feel like at all times, people know Core is strong, and yet for some reason, he's not played as much as like other Hammer characters, other Gauntlet characters. I kind of want to think about why that is. I say that and literally the first match I get is a Core. But you know what I'm saying, like, for the amount of Cores you see, I feel like you see more Mordexes, or you see more Cassidys or Thors, or, you know, maybe I'm biased based off like the people I queue into, but I feel like that's generally the trend for what you see in like content as well. And it's interesting because Core is not a bad character. In fact, I think he's very strong, like I was saying earlier, and I think that the general consensus on him is actually that he's very strong. Most of the time, his signature, like, most of the time, I should say, his signature kit is, like, very intimidating. Maybe his hammer sigs aren't the best, but the side sig, for example, lots of range, very generous hitbox when it swings like from the top, you can hit aerial people, and then his gauntlet sigs are just crazy. So, like all three of them are super good. There's a time when this end sig was one of the best sigs in the game. It has since gotten tweaked to be less threatening, but it's still very scary, hard to punish. Not the thing that you want to find yourself getting hit by for sure. But I can't get over how much I like Jake. Sorry, I'm mesmerized by this little burrito thing. I don't know why I jumped into that, but I don't know why I'm doing a lot of things, like recording a video right now. So we're not gonna question it. Why? So why is Core? Let me get back to the point. Why is Core not played as much as the others? I really like when thinking about it. I think it's nothing else than just the others being sick. Like, Core is good. He has a weapon combo that makes sense. You have a string weapon that sometimes struggles with killing, and then you have a weapon that's just like a big boy that kills, like, you're swinging a hammer, like this thing is gonna kill. His weapon combo I think is like super good. I think in 2v2 it's a, wow, we are in sync. We are kings. I think especially in 2v2 it's a weapon combo that's pretty cool. Makes a lot of sense, because you got the gauntlets, which are pretty good at team combos and getting gimps and following up and hitting at nice angles, and then you got the hammer, which is just so controlling, kills, you know, all that. So weapon combo is great, signatures are great, stats are good. Like, so like why, with all that, is he still not like seen all the time? And yeah, I when thinking about it, I just think it's other options. Like, if you're gonna play a super meaty hammer guy, you can pick Taros, and you don't have to think about stringing because you also have a other super big swing weapon. Or playing gauntlets, you could pick Mordex, have that insane sig kit, and like the scythe, and have lots of footage to look up about like high level gameplay and enjoy all the strings and everything, and so you pick Mordex. Or if you're like, you play gauntlets and you don't necessarily play hammer, but you like still want to play someone that's not super played, like Cross is like the hipster pick. I say hipster like he's bad. He's another character that I think is very good, but doesn't see the limelight is how I would phrase it, I suppose. Mayhaps. I'm gonna turn into a car. So yeah, I literally just think it's about options. And then when we're talking economics, alright, Core has some of the best skins in the game. I mean, clearly we got this thing here, like whatever this thing is that I'm competing as. And then we got, oh yeah, Rayman's another option. That's like, he's got another big weapon, and yet like his signatures are super fast, so like, okay, he's a good pick. I'm gonna just quickly do that. His like Snowman Core, one of the best in the game. And then on like You got the Corinthian, okay? You got the core with the moss on it. Like, he's got the economic incentive, he's got the gameplay incentive, he's just not got the player base, I guess. And again, maybe that's just me being dumb and not, or ignorant and not seeing all the cores, but I feel like even when I look at, non-ranked game modes with less influence of matchmaking, I still rarely ever see core in comparison to other Gauntlet or Hammer characters. And so, I will say, for the future, I would like to see an army of Jakes ascending to the Valhallan battlefields in the future. Not because I want to play against core, because to be honest, core scares me and gives me nightmares as a little boy. Before I even knew what Brawlhalla was, I imagined core in my nightmares. But because I want to play 2v2, this is my dream. That was an interesting wall interaction. Hear me out here. Hear me out. I had this dream. It wasn't a nightmare where I saw core. This was a good dream. Where I was queuing up rank 2v2 with one of my buds. Maybe it's Phazon. Maybe it's Boomy. Maybe it's Remy. Maybe it's Bobby Pantsman 2. And a little bout, a little jest of Lone Legend. And I see myself, not reflected in my gameplay, but in the opponent's Legends picks. Because I am Jake. My opponents are both Jake. And together, we're all Jake. I want to see that team-colored Jake into the secondary team-colored Jake that happens when you pick two characters of the same skin. And I want to queue into that with 4 discolored Jakes that have like a little bit. I keep saying because I want to get a wall combo. Like maybe the Jake isn't in the best health, has a little bit of asphyxiation, turning their skin blue, but wow, they zoomed. But it's what I want to see, and it's in my dream. So help me make my dream come true, and spend money on mammoth coins. Why did I walk into that? No, fun fact actually, I didn't even buy Jake, so I shouldn't be saying this because I was given Jake. I was gifted Jake by the lovely inhabitants of the stream. Thank you. By the way, I should say that. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that one, but I think core is really good. Is basically the TLDR, and I feel like that's gonna be the TLDR of all of these videos that I make talking about Legends. But I feel like people want to be validated that they're. Oh, I almost died. I wasn't even looking. I didn't even know my recovery got interrupted, even though it made the visual. I wasn't looking, so I didn't hear because I don't have earbuds in. Because this is a no earbud gameplay commentary, whatever this is. I lost my train of thought again. Oh yeah, because I think people want to be validated that they're like not wasting their time by picking a legend that's not worth investing time into, and I get that 100%. I will say that mentality is which is very true in other games, especially with meta shifts and all that, is much less true for Brawlhalla. No matter what legend you pick, like a good enough player can get rank 1 with them. I don't know, like that's probably saying something that's obvious, like, oh, if you're the best in the world, you can probably get rank 1 with any character. But it's more to say that, like, every character has the tools necessary to succeed. Every character is good. It's not a game like Smash where the individual properties of every character are different. Like, it's not like characters have different gravity or jump heights or fast fall speeds or combo weights or anything like that. And that definitely creates an environment where the difference between characters is less, which also means that the balance between characters is, it's a lot easier to like, if everyone is more similar, I don't know why, I didn't know what that move was. First, I just brain farted. My brain let out some gas. If everyone is, like, not, like, super different in the sense where they have 13,000 different variables that set them apart, it makes looking at them all as viable. Like, it makes a lot more sense if everyone is kind of on the same page, at least at some point, that everyone is also viable. So yeah, that may be the TLDR, and it may get stale to keep hearing that every character is good. Did you see how they avoided it? I did that so I could get back up to stage, for sure. That's what I'm gonna tell them. Tell them? Tell you? Who's them? I'm talking to you. Yeah, so I think people like to be validated that they're not wasting their time. If you're a core main, you are not wasting your time with core. Core is very strong. He may not see the type of representation that you see out of Mordex's or whatever, but don't let that sully your opinion of this little rock boy. Yeah, that's basically my overall thoughts. Now talking a little bit more about his signatures, I touched on a couple of them. I touched on this one, and I touched on the N-Sig, but let's talk about all of them, because what am I here for? Talking about a character if I don't talk about what does make them unique and not the same as the others in terms of jump height and fast fall speed and gravity and all that. So let's see what weapon I pick up, and we'll talk about it first. So gauntlets. N-Sig, I did touch upon it. It's very, very strong. Devastating spike. It comes out very quickly. It's the kind of move where when you think about like edge guarding or keeping someone in the corner, it's something additional you have to think about when you play up against a core that you don't have to think about when you play up against other legends. Like Petra has an N-Sig that hits in a similar space and actually like kind of hits grounded as well, so it's a bit more threatening in that respect. But it sends you upward, so if you're in the corner, you don't necessarily have to worry about getting gimped by it, whereas you more have to worry about getting killed off the top with it. So that's something that's very, very intimidating about it, is that if gauntlets are keeping you in the corner, and gauntlets are already a weapon that like everything sends you down, so you don't want to be in that position to begin with. Very scary. It also, you notice right there when you slide. Am I dead? Oh, I wall touch. Oh, I just jumped into it because I wasn't. I was shocked. I was surprised. Yeah, if you notice when you slide charge it, it doesn't get stopped by gravity, so you just go really, really low. So if you end up hitting it, that thing kills pretty early. Talking about hammer N-Sig is another one of those. I think signatures that fly under the radar, despite being very, very strong. You can downlight into N-Sig. It does a beefy amount of damage. It has a great hitbox. It's just, I think, a signature that goes overlooked. Maybe because some others are a bit more absurd on other characters. But just because other characters have absurd signatures doesn't mean that this one isn't like good in of itself. Let's see if I can hit this one more time to get the knockout. Dare? Weapon toss. There's the dare. I don't think that one was true. You gotta hit it a little bit closer. But still showed it off a little bit. We'll see what weapon I queue up. Hammer, again, this side sig is, if you position it properly, I think part of its really good use is for a read, especially towards the ledge here, because it can hit people trying to jump up as well as just getting on the stage. You see how high it hit that Barraza. If you space it properly, it's very difficult to punish based off its, I mean, you see this massive range. Unless you have something like guns or are already positioned properly, it can be difficult to punish this one. This down sig I think is pretty underwhelming. I mean, I walked into it earlier in the video, but the reason why I think, oh, we got a bit of a lore battle. You do love me. You do love me. Do you? Unless? I do love me. Some lore battles, I will say. Yeah, that hammer down sig, the reason why I say it's underwhelming is not because it's bad, it's just because the general risk of throwing out versus the reward you get for hitting it is not the greatest. And that's all. Alright, this Finn looks like a big time attacker out of hit stun. Yep, when they feel uncomfortable. So I'm just gonna hit them with some of these stringies until they're forced to dodge. I'm zooming up high because who's gonna stop me? The FBI. They're not up this late. Alright, I'll see if I can show off a little bit of this, what I was talking about there. You see the amount of coverage. I'm standing like all the way back here, and that still hit that axe recovery coming up. So definitely something to keep in mind as a core player is you got a lot of range on this. I mean, it is punishable, don't get me wrong. It's one of those signatures that it feels hefty and because it is hefty, and it's good. I missed my punish. but that's fine. There's the stringies I was talking about. Let's see if I can do a little car maneuver. No, I cannot do a car maneuver. Ooh, that dodge was close. I'm gonna throw this up so I can throw it down so I can jump down. That was a bit of a cheeky weapon toss play, for sure. Now on the gauntlets here, I talked about the end sig, but let's talk about side sig. Big disjoint. Look, I appeared twice on the map. Oh, I missed my punish. This is also pretty hefty. It has a surprising amount of force. Ooh, I missed. Oh yeah, that's something to keep in mind about the end sig, is it doesn't have the most active frames. But look at that spike, and then they're dead. They're not dead. I'm dead. Yeah, the side sig disjoint is pretty good. And then down sig hitting stacked is just something nice to have on gauntlets. Stacked killing option. Good hitbox, good range, just good sig. So I'll say that 5 out of 6 Jake signatures I think are super good. The last of those is the hammer down sig, which I don't think is terrible. It's just, again, higher risk than reward. But every single one of his other signatures has a use, and you can probably find a use for them in every single game, which is not necessarily the case for every legend, so that's something that's definitely cool about Jake. And I say Jake and Core interchangeably, I hope that's okay. And if you're looking for a character that maybe not see the most representation, you wanna play someone a little bit, I wouldn't say underplayed, because I don't think Core's underplayed, but overshadowed by other characters of the same weapon, and you want to try out someone that has a straightforward but strong signature kit. Like, think someone like Bodbar, who has a very straightforward sig kit. That's not a bad thing. It's still very strong, very powerful. We love some good power. We stand. Then give him a try. You might not like him, you might hate him, but at least you tried. There's that side sig again. Look at the heft. This is Shipwreck, such a wide map, and yet, nonetheless, it eviscerate the stock. Alright, this will be the last game here. I'm feeling a little tired, feeling a little sleepy. I was a bit slow on that one, but that's fine. Ooh, expected spot dodge. There it is again. Ooh, they jumped up there. There, yep. I'll hit this down sig and I'll hit this end sig, or this side sig, because I did talk about them, but I didn't really necessarily show off the technique. So, for this last stock here, I'll try and get a kill with this gauntlet side sig to close it off. It'll be a nice little showing-a-ding to close off the night. I say showing-a-ding because I don't have earbuds in, so I can't hear the sound right now. But I assume that's what it sounds like, because what else would it sound like? Why would they ever do anything but that? Ouch. Wow, that killed me. Maybe I'll talk about Zol next. They are 10 strength, so it makes sense. Let's see what I can do here, if I can lock them in. Oh! I got a 1 bounce. Can I get a 2 bounce? I didn't get the showing-a-ding, but I got the show-whoop-a-whoop, and that's fine. We'll call it a night here. I don't know what I just said. I regret that a lot.